Hey Aries, thanks for checking out your weekly forecast for September 19th through the 25th. This is for Aries sun, moon, and rising. I am setting the intention for the 7-day period of time. However, you might see this video in a few weeks, a few months, a few years. It's all good. You're going to see it whenever you're meant to see it. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the Aries collective. Therefore, not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does and leave what doesn't. So without further ado, let's see what's coming up here for Aries sun, moon, and rising. First card coming up here for the Aries collective is the Devil. Some of you could be dealing with a Capricorn. That might be significant for you in your life. If you have Capricorn placements, there could be big changes and big shifts happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life. The Devil can also tell us that you're coming into a time where you're having to face your fears or facing certain pleasures that maybe are going a little bit too far or like borderlining addiction. Some of you may feel like you need to get your habits under control. Like maybe you feel like you're indulging in something a little too much. It could be substance, it could be food, it could be physical intimacy. Some of you may feel like something that you were doing to relax or to relieve stress is now becoming too much of a distraction, or you're reaching for it all the time. You're reaching for it more and more and more. So I feel like some of you are trying to set down some kind of a boundary. Now, I'm getting a really interesting energy and vibe looking at this card. I'm getting a sense of like being born again. And I don't mean necessarily like going and like being a born again. I know that there's, born again religion. I don't mean that you're like going and like being in that religion, but a sense of like being born again or like wiping the slate clean. I feel like some of you are wanting a fresh start and like wanting like to hit this reset button, so to speak. So like a sense of cleansing, like cleansing, clearing, purifying your spirit, purifying your soul. I feel like some of you feel like you've been around a lot of super negative people, and you're feeling like maybe some of that negativity has rubbed off and you're wanting to cleanse that as well. So some of you may be looking into at this time like ways of raising vibration, ways of spiritual cleansing and healing. Maybe some of you are looking for like energy healers, or just doing some kind of releasing and as I said, like hitting a reset button, getting a fresh start. The next card coming up here for the Aries collective is Justice. This could be Libra energy, Libra sun, moon, rising, or Venus. If you have Libra placements, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life. Now we have major arcana cards coming in back to back. When major arcana cards come in back to back for me, it's big changes and big shifts happening in a short period of time. This could be the closing out or the finalizing of a legal process. If some of you have been going back and forth in the courts or doing some kind of mediation or negotiations, you might find that you're getting good news that this is wrapping up and you may be pleased with the results. This could also be here energy having to do with like balancing the head and the heart. You feel like every time I listen to my heart, I get burned. Every time I listen to my head, I'm miserable. Well, the Justice card is saying that we're going to bring the two things together. We're going to listen to the heart. We're going to follow the heart, but we're taking our brain with us. We're using logic. How can I set myself up to succeed? What are steps that I can take to make this work, right? Being in this kind of energy. So this is very positive in this way. You may also be in the energy here with this Justice card where you might find yourself in situations where you're having to stand up for yourself. Sometimes I see this card come up when there's issues of boundaries and you're being pushed to speak up, to stand up for yourself, maybe even take legal action and see to it that your rights are being upheld and protected. This can also be agreements and contracts, signing an agreement, signing a contract. And so these are different ways that this card could be coming up for the Aries collective. Now, your next card here is the Three of Swords. And so we talked about release, we talked about cleansing, we talked about following the heart. And so there may be a release in your heart chakra that's happening that might be very significant, right? Especially as we're coming into full moon energy. This can be old hurts coming to the surface because you're no longer reaching for that coping mechanism. You're like, this coping mechanism got out of hand. And now that you're not reaching for the coping mechanism anymore, you may be having a lot of really intense feelings coming to the surface. I've said this previously about the Three of Swords. This sadness or this hurt or this loss or betrayal we're feeling, with Three of Swords, it feels super intense. But the good news is that it doesn't last very long. It's like a big, powerful, quick release, and then we feel like this burden is off our shoulders. We feel like we can breathe again, and we feel lighter. So even though the emotions are tense and heavy, it's over quickly. It's not going to follow you around for weeks or months or years. So if you could ride out those waves of emotion, before you know it, you're good. Before you know it, it's over. The storm has passed and you're feeling happy and light and free. So be patient with yourself and remind yourself these feelings and emotions might be intense, but they're temporary. They're going to pass and be gone before I know it. And you have to ride out those waves and you have to let yourself feel those feelings. That's how you're going to release. That's how you're going to let go. That's how you're going to overcome this coping mechanism that's gotten out of hand. The next card that's coming up here for Aries is the Ten of Cups. And so this is leading you to happiness, to bliss, to inner peace, to happiness and fulfillment and success in every aspect, every area of your life. Ten of Cups is traditionally kind of typecast here as like marriage and babies, and that can definitely be the case for some of you. Some of you may absolutely positively be manifesting marriage and babies, but the deeper meaning of the card is inner peace and like the happily ever after. And that's going to be different for different ones of us, depending on what we want, what our priorities are, what stage of life we're in, right? But whatever your happily ever after is, Ten of Cups is telling us you're coming into that Ten of Cups. You're breaking out of this bondage, this energetic bondage, this energetic prison, and you're coming into balance and order, release, and now you're finding that happiness, that security, that fulfillment, and that inner peace. Very powerful energy, very powerful messages, very powerful cards. You might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign if you haven't already. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. I do have a playlist linked in the description, so it'll be easy for you to find the weekly forecasts. If you want to check out the love readings for September, there's a link in the description of the video that will take you to the love readings for September. I hope you guys will come back tomorrow and check out the card of the day. Every single day I post a daily message, which has been helpful to a lot of people. But if not, if that's not your cup of tea, if it's not your sort of thing, hopefully you will have a wonderful week and then come back next week and check out next week's forecast. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I appreciate it more than you know. Definitely means the world to me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for receiving all of the messages. And again, I hope you all have an amazing week. Take care. Bye bye, my dears.